Hey everybody, what's going on? It's been an extremely long season for the Montreal Canadiens, but once again, we had another busy week for the Habs after Monday's 7-1 loss to the New Jersey Devils. The Canadiens decided on Tuesday morning to fire Dominique Ducharme, and later in the afternoon, they hired Martin St. Louis to be the interim head coach for the Montreal Canadiens. So let's dive into that news and see what could come next for the Habs. Now, there's a lot to dive into, but let's start with Martin St. Louis' introductory press conference as interim head coach of the Montreal Canadiens. And I think there's a lot to go off of here. He spoke for about an hour along with Jeff Gordon and Montreal Canadiens' new general manager, Kent Hughes. And it just felt like there was such a different tone to this press conference because what we're used to with Dominique Ducharme is someone that he just doesn't exude confidence like we're seeing with Martin St. Louis. You can see that he's prepared. He might not necessarily have the experience that Dominique Ducharme has had as a head coach in different facets in different leagues, but Martin St. Louis has that type of confidence and experience in the National Hockey League to know how to get the best out of his players, and I really do believe that we saw that in his head coaching debut against the Washington Capitals last night. And if it wasn't for some poor goals allowed by Caden Primo, who shouldn't be in the National Hockey League at the moment, you're likely seeing Martin St. Louis get his first victory as a head coach because the Habs played such a solid game last night. It was one of the more refreshing performances that they've had so far this season, and I do believe that Martin St. Louis is going to have a positive impact on what the Montreal Canadiens are doing in terms of their development of their young players. Now let's start with the kids that a lot of people are going to be keeping an eye on down the stretch here under St. Louis, and that's Cole Caufield, Nick Suzuki, and Alexander Romanov. Romanov led the defense in ice time last night. Nick Suzuki led the team in ice time as a whole, and Cole Caufield recorded his first career regular season power play goal in the Habs loss, and he would have had two if Tyler Toffoli didn't go offside by just a couple of inches. So I do believe that there's a lot to build off of going here moving forward. If you look at Cole Caufield, he used space and his quick release to be able to score both of his goals on the night. And I do believe that's something he's going to continue doing here under St. Louis because St. Louis is going to embody that confidence in Caufield that he's been missing. And I believe the same thing with Nick Suzuki as well. If you look at Suzuki and Caufield last night, they both had their most creative and effective games in a very long time. And I don't think it's a coincidence that happens under Martin St. Louis. Now, there's going to be mistakes and some bumps along the road. There's no doubt about it. But if you look at some of the veterans as well, Josh Anderson was really good in last night's game. And Jeff Petry was night and day from the Jeff Petry we've seen all season long. There was one bad play from Petry on the night, but those kind of gaffes are going to happen. But for the rest of the night, Petry was very solid, specifically in the defensive zone, where he was able to play a strong role in the transition game. And I do believe that's something we've been missing from Petry in the Dominique Ducharme era, where there was just no communication between the defense. And I do believe that changed last night with St. Louis as the head coach. I think it's something that is going to build with Jeff Petry's trade value along the way here. I'm not so certain he's going to be moved by the trade deadline, but more performances like this certainly won't hurt his value. Now, it's not to say that everything is just fixed overnight because of the hiring of Martin St. Louis as interim coach, but over the next couple of weeks, you're going to see what type of players want to stay in Montreal Canadiens and what type of players want to be elsewhere. And I certainly wasn't impressed with Brendan Gallagher in his first performance in the Martin St. Louis era, so it still wouldn't surprise me if Gallagher was traded in the summertime. It's not really a trade that's going to happen around the deadline, I don't think, but it's possible that Gallagher does move in the summertime, and I think that's a move that would make sense for the Montreal Canadiens moving forward. That's it for me today from Cook's Corner. Let me know in the comment section down below what you think of the hiring of Martin St. Louis as interim coach, what you thought of the press conference, and what you thought of his debut as head coach as well. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button down below and turn the notification bell on so that you get notified right away when my videos are uploaded. I'm Zach Cook. We'll see you later.